Right.
Okay, so I am here with
Alanis.
Shaz.
Shilpa.
wow, CMI. Now cannot make it Chinese, Malay, Indian. Okay, yes. Okay, let's do a word association game or phrase association game. I'm gonna say something, then you tell me one or two sentences that come to your mind when I say that. Okay?
Okay.
So the first phrase, okay, it's complex.
Just sian. Sian is the word to describe this, man.
It is not complex. It's really actually very easy to unpack if you just think with your heart and your humanity.
Complex is a word that's used as an excuse to prevent people from speaking out, to silence people, and to prevent them from taking the step forward to understand what's really happening.
Okay. Next one, we'll go in reverse order. Don't be too emotional.
I mean, how can you not be emotional when you see people dying every day, people occupied, people oppressed? There's definitely an emotional side to this, but calling people emotional is also something that's used to silence them. It's used to invalidate your feelings and invalidate your position as well.
Emotions are actually very powerful. It is when you are in touch with your emotions, are you then able to galvanize and organize yourself to speak up and do something. That's why emotions are important.
Emotions are what make us humans, right? And if you're not even a slight bit moved by this, I wonder, do you even have a soul or a heart left in you, seriously?
Right.
Yeah.
But next one, what can we do about this? We are so far and so small.
Oh my gosh. Full of excuses.
We must realize that as individuals, we have the power to change. We are just one drop, but together we can make an ocean.
I think someone in the forum mentioned something about a domino effect. And I think for every single person that speaks up for Palestine, speaks up for humanity, it does create a domino effect.
Final one. One sentence for Singaporeans who are apathetic. Oh, start the other way.
Yeah, I would invite anyone who is apathetic or feels that they don't understand enough about this conflict to sit down and have a conversation with me. I would be happy.
So your app is, your Instagram handle is?
Stories by Shilps. Please DM me, it's public.
Okay. So yes. So please DM her and have Teh Tarik with her. Alright.
Let's stand together in solidarity. Together we can create change.
Remember the national pledge. Come on now. What's the use of stand united as one country if you're gonna be?
Pledge, right?
I mean, but like you get the message.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be empathetic, yes, if you're gonna be empathetic about this, then you only start to care when it only happens to us. But like this is at the expense of humans' lives. Like at least show that know that what certain governments are doing are oppressive and unfortunately these are what represents certain countries, but here as people, whether that's in Singapore or globally, we are here to say not in our name, because this is not what we stand for if we're going to move forward as a society. Seriously.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, that was brilliant. Yeah. Alright, I am here with
Leanne.
Leanne, and you all know Audrey, of course. Hi, Audrey.
Audrey.
Yes. So, Leanne, why can you tell us when you started getting interested in Palestine?
I think somewhere late October to November, back when the death toll was only 12,000, I just felt it was surreal that in this day and age, a genocide could be going on, and people around me were just living life as usual. So I just felt we are not civilized at all if we just allow people to be killed in huge numbers like that. And then
what were your thoughts on it, or did you have any? Was Palestine even in your consciousness prior to this?
I shared about it back in 2021, and I tagged Obama for some idealistic reason.
Good on you.
But then
he replied.
No, he did not. Then in 2023, when I shared again and I wanted to tag Biden, I went to check Obama. I said, "Oh my gosh, I actually shared about this in 2021, and it just fell out of my consciousness, and I felt so guilty, as if, because I no longer paid attention to it, I allowed it to go on. So only I would say my true awareness about this really started after the October 7th and then the subsequent genocide. Yeah, and reading books and watching films. I watched all 5 films at the Palestine Film Festival.
Oh, wow.
And it was eye-opening. It was really...
It was.
Yeah.
And it was heart-wrenching. I mean, as heart-wrenching as the monologues were just now.
Yes.
That was heavy, by the way. I didn't expect it to be that hard to get through.
She cried.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, it's hard to get through that, not crying, right? Audrey, since you've come back here, how's the sentiment like? Because in London, this is very much on the agenda, right?
Yes.
So how has it been like here?
It's really extremely opposite. Like everything is very visible in London. We've got graffitis, we've got posters, we've got shops displaying their support for the cause. We have protests every week, whether it's the national one or like just in the neighborhoods. And people, even when they're meeting for social gatherings, it comes up. It's in the news, it's on social media, it's everywhere. Whereas in Singapore, nothing is that visible. It's very hard to organically encounter news, information, or even have people to talk about it, or to feel safe to talk about it, to know enough to talk about it, and to generally feel connected to the cause.
So in your own circles, the two of you, do people talk about it?
We actually have a very funny history. We are actually schoolmates from secondary school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And we only reconnected because of this cause.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we've not seen each other for years and years.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was strange because I was one of the earliest people in my circle to share, and it just felt I was so alone. It felt like I was crazy, that there was no one I could talk to. And then I see Audrey posting and I see other people posting, and actually through this I made my first few close Muslim Malay friends, and it's just a whole new level of understanding of the faith and the beauty of it. When you look at the Palestinians being so strong despite everything being destroyed, and their faith is so strong. It was life-changing, and I'm very glad that through this I got to know more Singaporean Malay Muslim friends, and even like the Indian activists. It was more of like knowing people with the same values who feel injustice and they actively want to do something about it. Yeah. My immediate circle, they entertain my request to talk about it, but they change topic or they shut down very quickly. So yeah.
You were nodding along.
Yep. I have a lot to add actually. So I feel like for the both of us, being Chinese and non-Muslim, we share a lot of common history in the terms of like how we are being brought up and our circles that we mix around in. We grew up mostly around Chinese friends. We don't really have any brown friends at all, and it's only in our adulthood that we actually got connected to like these groups, and then we realized, oh, there's so much that we don't know about these people that we are living with, that we are like racial harmony, multicultural, but there's so much that we don't know because we are not integrated in society in that manner.
Thank you, and I think that's the reason why we have this event, so we know that there are other people who think like us, we are not crazy, and I really appreciate the point the two of you mentioned, that because this issue is something which is close to a lot of Muslims' hearts, but sometimes we can be in our own bubble and other people, I think a lot of non-Muslims still do not appreciate the depth of anguish and hurt in the Muslim community. So I am really grateful for your allyship, right? If you could say one thing, right, just one thing, one soundbite, I need a soundbite for my 10-second reel, right? Either for Singapore, the government, Singaporeans, fellow Singaporeans, what is it?
I would like Singaporeans and our government to know that we are all interconnected. This is not about religion. It's not even about race. Just erase that and just look at groups of people being exploited and then being painted in a bad light, dragging race and religion into it. So look at all of us as people, that there's no freedom until Palestinians have freedom. This is not a cliche. This is just applies worldwide.
Thank you.
Okay, my soundbite is just to whoever who's watching this and listening to this, when something is being brought up in the news, in conversations, in any situation, don't shut it down immediately. don't look away. Give it a chance. Listen, pay attention. That is your chance for yourself to grow as well. So give it that chance.
Thank you. Last question. Which secondary school was that from?
Chongqing High School, man.
Yeah, Chinese school.
No wonder no Malay friends. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for your allyship. But I really appreciate your sincerity and your emotions and you being here. Thank you so much. I am here with the one who needs no introduction, but you are?
Sarah, I'm Sarah.
So, how do you feel about the event in general terms? And then we can talk about the issue.
I think, first and foremost, like, it was so beautiful to see the diversity of the crowd. I mean, from where I was seated, I could see, generally you think it's a Muslim issue. And I know that it's, there's growing sentiments of non-Muslims who are using their voices.
Yeah.
And I've made so many friends who,
Yeah.
through the cause, who are non-Muslims. And it's so beautiful to witness that and to see that in person. And I think that's something that should be celebrated, right? And that was very, very, very heartening.
What does Palestine mean to you?
I think Palestine is, to me, like when I think of it, I just think of the people and I think of just the best of people, really, the most courageous, the most resilient. It's just, if we were to go through what they're going through, I just don't know how to even continue and to live. And I think there was one of the monologues that was read. The question was, not the question, as in the monologue, it said, what does it mean to be human and how do we live after witnessing death? But they do, they continue and they continue to live. And I think what it means to me is strength, what it means to me is courage, what it means to me is faith, what it means to me is hope, what it means to me is joy. And I think that's it's a value, essentially. Like, we're all Palestinians in that way, where we should have to take, like, we should like hold their values to heart. And I think we'll all be better humans because of that.
You said that, one of the chants, but no chanting is allowed. One of the chants in when you go to demonstrations overseas, I don't know whether you've heard of this, in our thousands,
Millions, we're all
in our thousands, in our millions, we are all Palestinians. And I do feel that in many ways we aspire to have that kind. Obviously nobody wants to be in the situation, but we aspire to have that level of faith and hope and courage and resilience, right? What now? What do you want to see now for Singapore, for Singaporeans? What do you want to see?
I think that was part of the conversation earlier, what next? And I think, I don't know, I've said this before as well. I think we can't depend on our leaders, and I still stand with that. And we shouldn't. I feel like we can depend on our people. It's our people, and what is so heartening is to see our people there who are using their voices, the kinds of questions they were asking. And it's the kind of values I want to instill in my child, and it's, what next is to continue using our voices. I know it feels hopeless. I think what's next is to just ground ourselves in what the Palestinians want, and one of it is to share their stories and tell their stories,
right,
and not stop talking about them, and also what they want is to talk, engage our governments, engage our leaders, and that's why I feel like this was important, because engagement is necessary and is important. We as people, sure, there's so much power in that, and I completely believe that. But if the unfortunate reality is, our leaders have the power in a way to change. Just for our people to use our voices and getting out of our echo chambers. I think
100%.
That's exactly it. If our leaders are not going to change communications or government messaging or whatever it is, and we need to take it upon ourselves to share about what's happening in Palestine, because that is something that is inhumane, and I think as any human we should be moved by it. So get off our echo chambers, talk to your taxi drivers,
right,
talk to your baristas, go to different events where they could.
That's excellent, because a lot of times we value our safe space and those are important, but we need to get out of this and reach out to people, because ultimately, this is true in economics, it's true in politics. If there's no demand, there's no supply. If people are not demanding it, why should there be change from? Because the government would think, and I think they would be right in saying that if majority are not wanting this, why should we change, right? So thank you for everything that you've done, as she has been an outspoken voice for the Palestinian cause in Singapore. So I really appreciate everything you